My dear viewers, welcome back to our academic journey here on YouTube. A journey through the corridors of wisdom and brilliance. Today, we embark on an intellectual odyssey to unravel the profound achievements of the ancient Greek civilization. I expect you to buckle up as we dive into this rich tapestry of human thought. As we stand at the threshold of the ancient Greek civilization, envision a world where the air is thick with intellectual fervor, and the echoes of philosophical discourse resound through the ages. In this particular episode, we are going to focus on the intellectual achievement of the ancient Greek civilization. But why is this period so mesmerizing? Picture a society that birthed democracy, cultivated groundbreaking philosophy, and laid the foundation for Western thought. We are about to embark on a journey that transcends time. We'll be making some stops at the Agora, the bustling heart of the ancient Greek city-state. Here, amidst the lively debates and discussion, great minds like Socrates, great minds like Plato, great minds like Aristotle forged the pillars of Western philosophy. Imagine wandering through the philosophical marketplace where ideas were exchanged like precious commodities. Socrates' probing questions, Plato's allegory of the cave, and Aristotle's systematic inquiries. These are the intellectual treasures that shaped the course of history. But it's not just going to be intellectual based. We would also be exploring the ancient Greek amphitheaters, where the grandeur of Greek drama unfolded, weaving tales of tragedy and comedy. From Aeschylus to Sophocles, the stage became a canvas where the human condition was painted with eloquence. Now, let's journey to the temples of knowledge, where Pythagoras contemplates geometric harmony, and Hippocrates lays the groundwork for medical ethics. The Greeks weren't just thinkers, they were the pioneers, pushing the boundaries of what the human mind could ever achieve. Mind you, this is just a glimpse into the intellectual journey I'll be taking you through. Our journey has just begun. If you are captivated by the pursuit of knowledge, as I am, make sure to hit that subscriber button and join me in unraveling the mysteries of the past from a Greek civilization perspective in relation to their intellectual achievement. Stay tuned for more episodes where we will delve into different aspects of the Greek civilization. But for today, as I earlier on indicated, we are looking at the intellectual achievements of the ancient Greek civilization. My name is Didio Kansi Jr. I am a senior member of the University of Ghana, the College of Humanities, School of Arts, and the Department of Philosophy and Classics. I am not just an academic. I am a passionate explorer of the classical world, a forward-thinking educator, and a catalyst for change in the realm of classical studies. With an unwavering commitment to my vision, I bring the wisdom of the Greco-Roman civilization into the modern age, igniting curiosity and challenging conventional thinking. Most importantly, I'm your guide on this fascinating adventure, and I couldn't be more thrilled to have you all here on this YouTube channel. Today, I am thrilled and happy to introduce you to this lecture series that will make you go on an unforgettable journey through time. Welcome to the Outlines of the Greco-Roman Civilization lecture series. I know you might be thinking, why should I be so excited about this civilization? Well, all I can say is that fasten your seatbelt, because this lecture is more than just a stroll down the memory lane. It is a mind-blowing exploration of our roots, our stories, and the echoes of the past that shape our present day. What do I then tend to achieve in this particular lecture video? My goal is to trace the evolution of Greek culture towards rationality. And my objective is to first of all examine the Pre-Socratic philosophers' contribution to the development of rational inquiry, focusing on their emphasis on naturalistic explanation and rejection of mythological narratives. My second objective is to analyze the impact of Socrates' dialectical method on the evolution of philosophical discourse, emphasizing its role in fostering critical thinking and self-examination. My third objective is to explore Plato's philosophical ideas, particularly the theory of forms, and understand how they contribute to the progression of Greek culture towards a more rational framework. And my fourth objective is to investigate Aristotle's dual contribution to logic and empiricism, highlighting the formulation of deductive reasoning and his pioneering work on empirical research. My second goal is to assess the significance of rationality in the 21st century. And my corresponding objectives to this particular goal is to first of all evaluate the relevance of cultivating a culture of rationality in this modern age, considering its potential impact on scientific advancement and the various disciplines. My second objective is to examine the role of rational thinking in fostering innovation, drawing connections between logical reasoning and creative problem solving in the 21st century. My third objective is to investigate the implications of a rational decision-making culture in the various fields, from business to politics, technology, and assess its potential contribution to effective and ethical decision making. And my final objective is to encourage critical reflection on the challenges and opportunities associated with promoting rationality in the 21st century, considering various factors such as culture, society, and technology. As a guide, I would like to first of all place this whole discussion in context. So I'll begin the lecture with a preamble. Then I'll go ahead to look at the evolution of Greek culture towards rationality. Then I'll finally look at the significance of rationality in the 21st century. Most of the submissions I'll be making were sourced from the following text, which have been duly referenced. Did you know that the ancient Greeks laid the foundation for much of our modern intellectual world, from literature to philosophy to science? Their contributions were unparalleled. Today, we are going to dive into the intellectual achievement of the ancient Greek civilization and explore how they shaped the course of human history. This fascinating topic would uncover the intellectual achievement of the ancient Greek civilization. It is crucial to understand how these achievements still influence the world we live in today. So let us embark on this captivating journey together and unravel the secrets of the ancient Greeks. Now that the stage is set for our discussion, by looking at a preamble, before we dive into the main content, brace yourselves for an awe-inspiring exploration of literature, of philosophy, of science, and many more. I begin this particular lecture topic with a preamble. Extract 1. According to Aka in his book entitled An Introduction to Ancient Greece, he remarks, and I quote, "From the time the Greeks learned to write from the Phoenicians, their culture turned increasingly rational. Thought, action, and production increasingly became subjects of logical and empirical analysis and justification. The dynamics of rationality led the Greeks to find sheer pleasure in the quest for the fundamental laws of nature in its manifold aspects. Greek intellectual creativity is so broad and deep that I cannot claim to have adequately surmised it here. This particular text offers a concise yet very insightful commentary on the evolution of Greek culture, particularly emphasizing the transition towards rationality and intellectual pursuit. The text begins by first of all acknowledging the pivotal role that the Phoenician civilization played in introducing writing to the Greeks. This historical context is very essential. It's essential because it sets the stage that will help us understand the subsequent development in Greek culture. This particular statement also draws our attention to the significant shift in Greek culture towards increased rationality. The use of writing, a gift from the Phoenicians, is linked to a broader cultural transformation. The Greeks, through the written word, began to subject thought, to subject their thought, to subject their action, to subject their production to logical and empirical analysis. After they've borrowed extensively from the Greek in relation to writing, they now decided to subject their thoughts, their production, their action to some form of logical analysis and empirical analysis. And this, to a larger extent, implies a systematic and reasoned approach to the various aspects of their life. The text also suggests that the dynamics of rationality led the Greeks to derive sheer pleasure from exploring the fundamental laws of nature. This indicates that the Greeks found to some extent some joy and satisfaction in their intellectual quest, portraying a cultural inclination towards curiosity and discovery. The statement also recognizes how difficult it would be to capture the whole intellectual achievement of the Greek civilization, looking at how vast it is and the depth with which it comes along with. So this particular acknowledgement does not admit that whatever we'll be talking about in relation to the intellectual achievement will not be complete in itself. Why? Because the nature and form of the extent to which the Greeks have left for us some intellectual legacy cannot to a larger extent be complete with just this particular video. I also know something very interesting, that by mentioning logical and empirical analysis, the writer underscores the fact that the Greeks were committed to understanding the world through observation and evidence. Unlike our part of the world, where most often than not, we want to observe the world through the supernatural, through something divine or something supernatural. In this particular context, the writer draws our attention to the commitment with which the Greeks attached their quest to understand the world around them using observation and evidence. And this, to a larger extent, aligns with the broader historical shift towards a more scientific and systematic approach towards knowledge construction. So all in all, I think the writer interprets the text by highlighting the transformative impact that the writing that the Greeks borrowed from the Phoenicians had on the Greek culture, that led to increased rationality, empirical analysis, and the enjoyment of intellectual exploration. My dear viewers, welcome to our second subtopic, which is the evolution of Greek culture towards rationality. Our focus lies on the profound transformation of Greek culture toward heightened rationality. And in this subtopic, we will delve into the roots of philosophical inquiry, the blossoming of logical reasoning, and the dawn of empirical exploration that have left an indelible mark on the course of human thought and history. The ancient Greeks, a civilization that thrived over 2 millennia, bequeathed to us a legacy of ideas that shaped the foundations of Western philosophy, science, and mathematics. From the early musings of the Pre-Socratic philosophers to the rigorous methodologies of Aristotle, the Greeks embarked on a quest to understanding, a quest that laid the groundwork for the rational traditions we cherish today. Our expedition begins by examining the contributions of some thinkers who dared to question the status quo, seeking naturalistic explanations and rejecting the comforting allure of methodological narratives. We will then traverse the dialectical landscape crafted by Socrates, exploring how his method of questioning not only revolutionized philosophy but also laid the groundwork for critical thinking and self-examination. Moving forward, our journey will take us into the philosophical realms of Plato, where the abstract realms of forms and the pursuit of knowledge became paramount. We will also try to uncover the significance of Plato's ideas in propelling Greek culture towards a more rational framework. Aristotle will also be our guide in this particular subtopic, and it will lead us through the dual realms of logic and empiricism. We will uncover the formulation of deductive reasoning and the pioneering of empirical research that marked Aristotle's monumental contribution to the evolution of Greek rationality. But our expedition will not just end with this subtopic. We'll also set our compass to the 21st century and evaluate the enduring significance of cultivating a culture of rationality. We would explore its potential impact on scientific advancement, innovation, and decision making. So fasten your intellectual seatbelts as we embark on this journey together through time to witness the evolution of Greek culture towards heightened rationality. A journey that constitutes or that will continue to shape our way, that will continue to shape the way we think and understand the world around us. Pre-Socratic philosophers' contribution towards rational inquiry. Who were the Pre-Socratics? The Pre-Socratics were a group of thinkers who flourished in ancient Greece before the time of Socrates, and they made significant contributions to rational inquiry by challenging traditional methodological explanations of the cosmos and seeking naturalistic accounts of the world around them. One of the key contributions of the pre-Socratic philosophers was their emphasis on naturalistic explanations for natural phenomena. They were more interested in explaining the empirical world with empirical observations. So, for example, Thales of Miletus, often considered the first philosopher, as the Western tradition proposed that water was the fundamental substance from which all things originated. This marked a departure from the mythological explanation prevalent in ancient Greek culture, where natural events were often attributed to the actions of something divine or something supernatural, and in this particular context, to the gods and goddesses that dominated the explanation realm of the Greek society. Similarly, Anaximander, a disciple of Thales, introduced the concept of the apeiron, or the boundless, as the ultimate source of all things. In fact, according to Anaximander, the abstract principle represented a departure from anthropomorphic explanations of natural phenomena and laid the groundwork for more abstract and naturalistic reasoning. Another notable pre-Socratic philosopher was Heraclitus, who famously asserted that everything flows and that change is the fundamental characteristic of the universe. This emphasis on the flux and change challenged the static and unchanging views of the cosmos found in the traditional methodological accounts of the ancient Greek society. Parmenides and Zeno explored logical reasoning to challenge the senses, and they argued for the existence of a single and an unchanging reality. Their philosophical inquiries into nature of being and not being paved the way for a more rigorous and systematic approach to metaphysics and epistemology. So these pre-Socratic philosophers' emphasis on naturalistic explanation and the rejection of myths marked a significant shift towards rational inquiry in ancient Greek culture. And by seeking rational explanations for natural phenomena and employing logical reasonings to challenge traditional beliefs, these thinkers laid the groundwork for the development of Western philosophy and science. Socrates' dialectical method on the evolution of philosophical discourse. When it comes to the history of philosophical discourse, Socrates' dialectical method cannot be underestimated. And in fact, its impact on critical thinking and self-examination remains profound. Even after a millennia, its inception still resonates. Questioning as an engine of progress. So what I'll be doing subsequently is to look at the key contribution of Socrates' dialectical method on the evolution of philosophical discourse. And his way of questioning is considered as an engine of progress. Why? Because challenging assumptions became the heart of Socrates' method. Instead of presenting doctrines, Socrates engaged in dialogues, probing interlocutors' assumptions and their beliefs. This exposed some inconsistencies, some ambiguities, and even some limitations in their thinking, and which prompted some of these interlocutors to re-evaluate and explore whatever they had in mind. The method shifted the focus from accepting dogmatic beliefs to actively questioning and examining these dogmatic beliefs. This encouraged independent thought, skepticism, and the search for well-founded justifications. One other contribution of the dialectical method is the birth it gave to critical thinking. Logical analysis became the core of this particular method, and it involves using logic to analyze concepts, analyze definitions, and even analyze arguments. This developed critical thinking skills like identifying and evaluating evidence, recognizing fallacies, and constructing sound arguments. Evaluating or unveiling contradictions. By systematically questioning the interlocutors, the method often revealed contradictions within a person's belief system. And this encouraged critical self-reflection and a willingness to revise the flaws that have been identified in the thinking process. Another contribution of the dialectical method is the art of self-examination. Know thyself. Socrates famously declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. His method pushed individuals to examine their opinions, examine their motivations, and examine their biases. And this self-scrutiny fostered intellectual humility, personal growth, and deeper understanding of oneself. And by questioning the fundamental values and ethical principles, the method encouraged individuals to critically examine their own moral stance and its justifications. And this promoted ethical reasoning and personal responsibility. There's no denying the fact that the dialectical method has some lasting legacy. It has shaped countless philosophical movements and debates. From Plato's idealism to the Enlightenment's emphasis on reason, it focused on critical thinking and self-examination, contributes to influence diverse philosophical approaches. And in fact, the dialectical method, together with its contribution, goes beyond philosophy. It goes beyond philosophy. It influences educational practices. It influences legal reasoning. It influences scientific inquiry, and even influences our day-to-day conversation. Its emphasis on critical thinking and clear communication remains valuable to our very dispensation. So, the dialectical method revolutionized philosophical discourse by emphasizing critical thinking and self-examination. Its legacy continues to shape intellectual endeavors, reminding us that questioning, analyzing, and reflecting on our beliefs are essential not only for philosophical inquiry but also for personal growth in order to navigate the complexities of the world we live in today. But I would also admit that the method is not without critiques. In fact, there are some schools of thought who argue that the dialectical method can be overly confrontational and in fact, its effectiveness depends on the participants' willingness to engage genuinely in an open discussion. So we have seen how Socrates' dialectical method on the evolution of philosophical discourse has shaped the way we think and view the world. Plato's ideas and Greek rationality. Plato's theory of forms represents one of the most enduring and influential concepts in the history of philosophy. Central to this theory is the idea that behind the ever-changing and imperfect world of appearances lies a realm of eternal, unchanging forms or ideas. These forms, according to Plato, are the true reality, while the physical world are perceived through our senses is merely a shadow or imperfect reflection of these higher truths. The impact of Plato's theory of forms on Greek rationality cannot be swept under the carpet. By positing the existence of an intelligible realm accessible to reason rather than sensory perception, Plato shifted the focus of philosophical inquiry towards abstract universal principles. This departure from the empirical approach favored by the earlier thinkers like the Pre-Socratics marked a significant evolution in Greek thought. His emphasis on the supremacy of reason in apprehending truth and knowledge challenged traditional beliefs rooted in mythological narratives. Instead of relying on religious or poetic accounts of reality, Plato advocated for a more rigorous and systematic approach to understanding the world. And in so doing, he helped lay the groundwork for the development of Western rationalism, which prioritizes the use of reason and logic in the pursuit of knowledge. His theory provided a framework for understanding essential philosophical concepts such as ethics, epistemology, and metaphysics. For example, Plato used the theory of forms to explain the nature of justice, arguing that justice is an abstract form that exists independently of individual instances of just actions. And this particular approach to ethics, grounded in abstract reasoning rather than empirical observation, exemplifies the influence of Plato's ideas on Greek rationality. Plato's theory of forms had a profound impact on Greek rationality by offering a paradigm for understanding reality, offering a new paradigm in understanding reality, offered a new paradigm in understanding knowledge, offered a new paradigm in understanding ethics. And by emphasizing on the supremacy of reason and the existence of transcendent forms, Plato challenged conventional beliefs that paved the way for the development of Western philosophical traditions. Aristotle's contributions to logic and empiricism. Aristotle made significant contributions to both logic and empiricism, laying the foundation for Western thought in these areas. When it comes to logic, Aristotle's work on deductive reasoning, as articulated in his Organon, established the foundation of formal logic. He developed syllogistic logic a system of deductive reasoning based on propositions and categorical statements which became fundamental to Western philosophy and scientific inquiry. When it comes to empiricism, Aristotle pioneered empirical research across various disciplines, from biology to physics to ethics, and his approach emphasized observation, emphasized classification, emphasized systematic investigation of natural phenomena. Aristotle's empirical method contributed to the development of scientific inquiry by prioritizing evidence-based reasoning and accumulation of empirical data. Aristotle's ability to integrate logic and empiricism was fantastic. In fact, his method involved a synthesis of deductive reasoning and empirical observation. He recognized the importance of both logical deductions and empirical evidence in acquiring knowledge about the world. This integrative approach laid the foundation for scientific methodologies that combine theoretical reasoning with empirical investigation, and this, in the long run, shaped the course of Western science for centuries to come. And this is just one of the contributions that Aristotle's method of inquiry contributed to the awakening of rationality in the Greek civilization. What have I been trying to do so far? In this particular lecture, we try to look at the intellectual achievement of the ancient Greek civilization. And what I've been trying to do so far is to trace the evolution of Greek culture towards rationality. And it is this rationality that translates into their intellectual achievement. So I've been trying to look at the historical antecedents of the thinking processes that the Greek civilization went through in order to reach rationality. So I've so far looked at some major contributions of the Pre-Socratic philosophy in relation to rationality by emphasizing on their naturalistic explanation and their rejection of using mythological explanation to explain natural processes and phenomena. I've also tried to look at the contribution that Socrates' dialectical method has had on the ancient Greek intellectual development. And what has it done so far? It played a major role in fostering critical thinking and practical reasoning. I've also looked at Plato's ideas, especially his idea or theory of forms and its impact on Greek rationality. I've also tried to look at Aristotle's contribution to logic and empiricism, focusing on deductive reasoning and empirical research. And these, to a larger extent, forms the basis of the historical evolution of Greek intellectual development towards rationality. It's been nice having you all. Dear viewers, unfortunately, we have come to an end of part 1 of this particular lecture series. In part 2, I intend to look at the significance of rationality in the 21st century. do not forget to hit that subscriber button. Like this video and feel free to comment as well. See you next time. Have a nice day. It has been an exciting journey so far. Thank you very much for your attention. Stay tuned and have a nice day.